Hi, I'm Kimber Bowers of Loving Light Holistic Wellness, and I am a certified holistic nutritionist and mind-body wellness practitioner who empowers others to create positive change and embrace more joy in their lives. And I'm here to share with you today, raw and unfiltered. The food is going to be raw, and I am going to be unfiltered because I asked my children to select some raw items that I could try to have a little fun with and create something out of today. I want to show you how you can use creative change in the area of nutrition to empower all other areas of your life. So we're going to start with a little bit of information on the benefits of a raw diet. And then from there, we're going to have a little fun. So make sure you stick around for the fun part, all right? The benefits of a raw diet are listed here. You can look at them yourself. Lower inflammation, improved digestion and absorption. And the matter of that is that there are digestive enzymes produced by our digestive system, but there are also enzymes used for digestion in the food that we eat. And these enzymes get destroyed in cooking. Also, some of the nutrients themselves get destroyed in the cooking process. So when we're eating foods that have been cooked, our body doesn't always recognize what it's eating and doesn't have those enzymes from the food to help with the digestion process. So then you're having partially digested food that is sitting in the digestive tract. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you, if you have ever found a sandwich sitting on the dining room table that perhaps one of your children or significant other may have left sitting there, and you find it, and it doesn't look very pretty, does it? So you can imagine that having food particles sitting around in your digestive tract for days or even weeks is not really something that we want to have. It can lead to toxicity, and it can lead to different types of disease. Other benefits are lower blood pressure. There's more dietary fiber, which is good for most people. For some people who have ulcerative colitis or other bowel disorders, they may not be able to handle the amount of fiber that is in a raw food diet. So they may need to make some alterations. They may need to cook more things. That does not mean that you cannot still incorporate more vegetables into your diet, or even try cooking some of them more lightly. Improved heart health, optimal liver function, because there are more phytonutrients in raw food, right? And those are proven to support many different bodily functions. There's immunity boost and a better alkaline balance. Did you know, were you aware that 80% of your immune system hangs out in your gut, right? Because that's where the gut flora is, the beneficial gut bacteria that helps us to fight off disease. It supports our immune system. So there are other small ways that you can support that gut bacteria. I use raw apple cider vinegar in a glass of water a couple times a day. Also, fermented vegetables, fermented foods are a good way to support that bacteria. And that's something that you can incorporate into your diet as well. You're also going to have more energy, more regularity, clearer skin, lower nutrient deficiencies, reduce carcinogens, which is always a good thing. And it will help you to maintain a healthy body weight, because naturally, by increasing the intake of raw food, you're going to be eating less processed and less refined foods. So it's an overall improvement on your diet. How much raw food should you eat? Well, there are different opinions on that, and it's really a personal preference how much raw food you want to incorporate. In this presentation, I'm really just trying to boost your ability to increase raw in any amount, and whatever you feel prepared to do, I say go for it. A lot of doctors and nutritionists recommend 51% raw. 51% is going to present some of these benefits that we talked about. Dr. Furman, Dr. Axe, Dr. McCullough, they all suggest 51% raw. So a good goal is just to look at every plate that you eat and make 50% of that plate a little more than 50%, because you want to get that 51, right? Raw. And that's a good way to do it throughout the day. Personally, some of my meals are all raw, But anytime I eat a plate, I try to do 50% raw. So I'm probably doing a little more than 50%. But again, that's a personal choice, and you do what works for you. Some people like to jump all in. Some people like to do it in increments. Whatever works for you and allows you to sustain the change you are creating is going to be perfect. If you are going all raw, you want to remember to watch your protein intake and your fat intake. You want to make sure it's essential in any diet, no matter what diet plan you are following, to get enough protein and fat in your diet. Good fats that you can consume would be nuts and seeds, coconut oil, cold pressed. For protein, if you're not eating animal products, you can still get protein from plenty of other vegetable sources. Nuts and seeds and certain grains contain protein as well. Quinoa, for example. There are a lot of protein sources that are plant-based that you can incorporate into your diet. There are also a lot of dehydrated mixed plant protein products that you can purchase for smoothies and things like that if that's the way you want to do it. Just make sure that you're getting that protein in. So now, let me see what my kids picked out for me, and we can maybe have a little fun, because I know that when people think about increasing raw, 51% sounds like a lot, right? 51% of my diet has to be raw, and you probably don't even realize how much raw food you're already consuming. I mean, most of us eat salads. Many of us eat nuts. A lot of us eat raw food in our day-to-day, but when the number is thrown out there, when something that's more than half is presented, we cringe a little bit because we're not sure if we can do that. And I really just think that's a function of the human brain. Change is hard. We perceive change to be hard. It does not have to be hard. It is the way we approach it. So this goes for change in all areas of your life. Find out the amount that you can do that allows you to have the motivation to start. If you can say to yourself, I'm going to eat 25% raw today, and that sounds manageable, then start there and go for it. And then tomorrow, maybe you'll do 30. Maybe the next day you'll do 40. When you start to see how easy it is, then maybe you'll be ready to do that 51. Who knows? Maybe you'll want to go all the way. That's up to you. The point is, pick something that sounds manageable to make that goal attainable. And you can do this with change in all areas of your life. Pick something manageable to make it attainable, and then start from there. And it really works with nutrition. If you're here and you're focused on nutrition and this is where you are ready to create change, good for you. I want you to succeed, and I know that you will. And I also know that as you create this positive shift in your life, it is going to empower you to create positive shifts in all other areas of your life. I know that when I first started working out on a daily basis, and I was still nursing my youngest and had a 4-year-old pulling at my legs all day, and I was thinking in my head, man, working out on top of work and children and everything else right now, it just felt overwhelming. So I decided I'm just going to do 15 minutes a day. I can do that. I can do 15 minutes a day. That's where I'm going to start. And I'll tell you what, I started working out 15 minutes every day, and by the end of the month, I felt like I could do anything. Bring it in. I'm ready, right? anything I want can be accomplished because I've got this 15 minutes a day down, and I believed that was going to be unaccomplishable. So you see, that's what we do. We do what we can. We do a little bit at a time. We make it attainable. And the more that we attain, the more confident and empowered we feel to reach out and go for more. So if you're ready to focus on these positive change with your nutrition, you are going to feel empowered to create change in all other areas. And you're going to know that you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. It's a powerful tool, really. And then when we're looking at nutrition as a chore, when we're looking at meal preparation as a chore, something that we have to do, I have to go home and cook dinner. Oh, what am I going to cook for dinner tonight? It can become overwhelming. It can add to the stress. And when you think about things of having to think about what's healthy and incorporate that, it does become a little bit stressful. So try not to focus on it that way. What I would like you to focus on is the next best choice. Because we're all going to have bad days, and we're all going to sometimes make the lesser choice, and that's okay. That is okay. It doesn't mean anything. It does not define you. Your goal is to step up from that choice and make the next best choice. So anytime you sit down to eat, if you're out to eat and you're looking at the menu, you look at what's on that menu and you say, okay, I can have this or I can have that. What is the better choice? What supports me on more levels, right? And you think about it that way. And you can do the same thing throughout your day. When you come home and you want to cook, you can say, what is the best choice right here, right now? And you don't think about the one you made yesterday, and you don't think about the one you're going to make tomorrow. You make the next best choice right now, and you applaud yourself for that choice. And if you don't make the best choice, then you just kind of say, it's okay, I love you anyway, okay? And that's going to help you to get back on the horse and embrace the next best choice. So this is the pattern that I recommend of thought to follow when we're trying to create change. I'm going to see what my kids picked for me now. I have some kale, some cauliflower, and we got all of this from the local produce stand. So it is all seasonal, organic, unprocessed, and local, which are items that I always look for in my food when I'm purchasing it. I have some red and yellow pepper here, some avocado, some strawberries, some tomato, some lime, green onion, zucchini, and carrot. And I did have some things out that are not produce that I use for preparing food that I just thought would be good to have out. I have some pre-pasted garlic, some fresh mint, some dried oregano and lemon verbena from the garden, dried ginger. And dried things are okay. Dehydrated foods are considered raw as long as they remain at a temperature below 115 degrees. You can even dehydrate things in a very low oven if you would like. And it's great for producing crackers and bread that are considered raw that you can make from produce and seeds or nuts. Having a small coffee grinder is awesome, an extra coffee grinder that you can use to grind up anything like nuts and seeds to make a kind of flour that you can use to make crackers and breads is great. I do that all the time, especially flax. And also, I have some raw apple cider vinegar, some dried peppers, and I have some hemp protein, coconut oil, and grass-fed butter, which are healthy fats, and some almond milk sitting out in case I need it. Just so you know what I prepared myself with, because these are items that I keep. They're staple items in my house, so I don't know if that information would help you, but they are things that come in handy when you're trying to make raw. So I'm going to take a large bowl. I'm going to make sure it's big because I'm going to grate some cauliflower, and we want to make sure that it doesn't go everywhere because that can be kind of messy. I'm going to make some cauliflower rice. The best thing about raw food cooking, one of those positive spins that I like to put on it, is that I don't have to cook anything. I'm going to rice my cauliflower. I think that's really enough for me. And you can make a larger portion and store some if you want. I prefer to just make what I'm going to eat right now because it doesn't take a long time to prepare it and because it's better to eat it fresher. So let's try, I'm going to add some zucchini to that. This kind of comes out longer. It's not really as ricey, but I like it, so I'm going to add it. And this is the thing, when you're cooking, when you're making anything, trust your gut, go with how it looks to you. I have no idea why I'm saying this is an odd ratio. Is there a specific ratio for zucchini and cauliflower? I don't really think so. But I know that to me, it looked a little off. So I'm going to trust my gut and go with it and add a little more cauliflower. That's the thing, the worst thing that can happen. What is the worst thing that can happen? You don't like what you made? And the great thing about cooking is that if you don't like it, you can always add something else. It's adjustable. Adapt. Go with it. Learn what you like. And the next time you make it, it will be better because you'll know what you liked or didn't like about this time, right? So I'm going to add a little bit of carrot to that, which I'm also going to shred, keep it all uniform. Just a little bit to give it a little sweetness. Some green onion for flavor. And some yellow pepper. You could put anything you want in here, and you could go with an Italian theme, a Chinese theme, a Thai theme, whatever kind of flavors you like. You can put, it's just like regular rice, really. I'm sure we've all had plenty of rice dishes that we can draw inspiration from, right? Do that now, and I'll show you. This is what it comes out looking like. See the rice consistency? Kind of looks like a little pilaf-y thing I got going on there. And then I'm going to make a dressing for it. You don't have to. You could just eat it like that. I like to put a little dressing on it for flavor. So I'm going to use the lime. Squeeze my lime juice into a cup. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little bit of cold pressed grapeseed oil. You want to make sure that your oils are cold pressed to get those healthy fats. And I'm going to put about 1/3 of the amount of lime juice that I have in there with the oil. I'm going to add a little bit of powdered ginger. Fresh herbs are always better, but there's no shame in using dehydrated kitchen spices if you have them. I wouldn't keep them around for too long. I mean, they do have an expiration, and honor that. And here we go. And some pasted garlic. My grandmother, I always have garlic and citrus out when I'm cooking. My grandmother was Italian, off the boat, and she used to always say, if there's something missing, it is either lemon or garlic. So lemon and garlic are still a staple part of my cooking, and I am sharing that advice with you. If you taste something and there's something missing, lemon or garlic. Also, if it's too sweet, add yourself some vinegar. Those are some standard kitchen solutions for you. I'm going to mix that up. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of fresh ground pepper. Okay. And so that's ready, but I'm not quite done yet because I mentioned that I want to make sure I get enough protein. So to do that, I'm going to make a little bit of sauce that incorporates some protein into it. So I use this blender cup. I have a Ninja. I don't know what kind of blender you use. Any kind of blender with a small cup is really convenient for just blending up a little bit of something. And I'm going to put some red pepper, some more garlic, what else can I put in here? I have strawberries somewhere, I think. I'm going to put some strawberries in here. See, I kind of get in a habit sometimes where I just eat the same thing every day. I eat salads for lunch. I eat the same exact breakfast protein, vegetable protein smoothie every single day. And I like it. I don't have a problem with it. However, it's good to mix things up sometimes. It's good to do something creative and just see what you can come up with. I hope that, you know, watching me do this and just throw some random things together is going to inspire you to get into your kitchen and see what you can come up with. And I would love to see what you come up with. If you'd like to, you can join my free group, the Joy Coalition, on Facebook. I'll provide a link for that later. And you can post up pictures of whatever you create in your kitchen. And I would be super excited to see that. It will be inspirational to all the other members of my group. That group is where we support one another to create positive change. And so I'm going to put some avocado in there. I don't know if I said what I was doing. And more garlic. And I need to add some liquid to get this together. I'm also going to add some hemp protein powder. Let's see, what kind of liquid do I want to add? A little bit of almond milk so that it will be a little creamy. And let's go with a little bit of coconut oil for those healthy fats. I'm going to puree this up. You can make sauces out of anything. Another great one to make is spinach, pine nuts, garlic, a little bit of cold pressed oil. You got yourself a pesto, a spinach pesto. And you want to add the basil in there, of course. I forgot that one. Nice little dressing or sauce. So I'm going to make, and this is why I didn't use the kale yet. I was saving it because I want to make a kale wrap. Find a nice big piece of kale. Another leafy vegetable that's great for this is collards. I grow collards in my garden and I love making wraps out of them. I do it all the time. So now I'm just going to take my rice that I made and put some of that on there. I'm going to put some of my sauce on here so that I get my protein and my fat, and also to make it a little moister. I'm going to wrap this up. It's a little too big on the top. I'm going to put some of that on. I've got myself a nice little wrap, which I can pick up and eat just like a sandwich. Well, like a wrap, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So again, I want to see what you can create. Get some vegetables, even just go home and see what you have in the fridge. Make something and share it with me. I'd be happy to see that. And if you make one thing, you're going to feel so good about what you made that you're going to be empowered to keep doing it, to keep creating more, and to create things in other areas of your life. The thing is that you might not realize it, but having stuck around and watched this video, you now have a little bit more knowledge. I don't know how many of you knew about cauliflower rice. Maybe some of you knew about it, but have never tried to make it. So now you saw that it's really easy to do, right? That breaks through that perception of it's got to be hard. And you saw that it can be combined with practically anything you want to combine with it. So that's going to give you some creative inspiration. And you can use that knowledge to come up with your own ideas and your own creations. If we go out and explore just a little bit of knowledge, we can make all kinds of improvements in our diet. What can I do to replace sugar? Because that's another part of this raw eating. We recommend that you're going to cut out processed foods, processed sugar. And what can I replace that with? You can replace that with raw coconut sugar. You can replace that with raw agave nectar, both of which have a very low glycemic index. So now you have that knowledge and you can start using those things. There are things that you can make in a matter of minutes. You can make flax bread. You can make flax muffins or even cupcakes in minutes that have no sugar, no carbs, and do have protein. So these are ways that you can incorporate little things into your diet that you may not want to eat a flax cupcake every day still, because it does still have fat in it. However, if you come up with a craving for something sweet, you have that knowledge that you know you can look for a flax cupcake recipe now, don't you? And I'm sure that that's a hell of a lot better for you than a tasty cake. It's just something to think about. When we go out and we get a little bit of knowledge, the more knowledge we get, the more empowered we become, because our choices expand, the more possibilities we can see, and the more creative we can become with it. Because I don't want you to stick strictly to I don't want you to go home and make the same thing that I made. You can if you want to play with it and that's where you want to start, that's great. But then expand that and make your own creations, come up with your own ideas. Use what you do in the kitchen to expand your own creativity in all areas of your life. Use anything that you accomplish to expand your own confidence in what you can accomplish in any area of your life. It's amazing how we can use one small thing to build up everything. It really is a whole picture. And no matter where you start to create change, you can see it unfold on multiple levels. You're going to feel good about yourself if you increase the raw food and start playing around with it and allowing yourself to play around with it and have a little bit of fun. This was not hard for me. This was fun. I enjoyed this and I enjoy doing it in my life. I enjoy it. And maybe the kitchen's not your thing. Maybe food's not your thing. I'd be willing to bet that that's because you don't feel like you know enough to do it. A lot of people feel like they don't know what to do with food. How do you learn what to do with food? You play with it. You allow yourself the permission to experiment, the permission to maybe make some not so good things once or twice, so that you can then build your knowledge and learn how to better combine things and how to improve your creations. That's the same for any change in your life. And we can also use food to inspire connection. If you share these ideas, if you go home and say, what can I make raw from the vegetables I have, and you don't have an idea immediately, and you show your kids, you show your significant other what you have, and you say, what can we make out of this? What do you guys want to eat out of this? Can we make some zucchini noodles? Can we make some cauliflower rice? Zucchini noodles, I definitely recommend that you purchase a spiralizer. I don't have one. I use a paring knife, and I'm not ashamed to admit that that is time consuming for me. So if you want to save yourself some time and make it easy, get a spiralizer. Have the tools on hand that you need to make this accomplishable. But if you ask your family, if you ask your friends what they're making, if you ask for some contribution, some other ideas to get inspired off of, if you come to my Joy Coalition and share some of the things that you made and other people share what they made, and you can get some ideas or feedback off of them, that would be awesome. I would love to have that happening on my page right now. It's not happening as of yet, but I'm hoping that if some of you come join, that will happen and we can evolve that into a inspiration for one another, right? Those are things that you can use to connect to other people. Food does not have to be a chore. Food does not have to be something that you have to do. Yes, we do need to eat to live. And yes, we do have a lot of things going on in our lives that sometimes make it seem like we have no time to really give attention to what we're eating. However, if we give the attention to what we're eating, our ability to handle all those other things in our life will improve because we will feel better. And when we feel better, physically and mentally, because we're reinforcing our ability to handle things, right? Then that is going to improve our resiliency toward any other kind of stress or change in our life. And that is amazing. And if we use food to connect to other people, if we use preparing dinner to connect to our children, if we let our children help with cooking dinner, which I know sometimes makes things a little more difficult when you let the kids help. However, if you let them play around and have fun too, then you get to build the strength of your connections as well through sharing that creative process. And that again translates into all other areas of your life because it is also building your resiliency. Connection is a definite factor in resiliency. So it's just funny when you look at it, the way all of these things really hook together. And if you're interested, if you need more support and you would like to have support in creating some change in your life, you can contact me at any of these links below. I'd be happy to talk with you. There's also the link to the Joy Coalition there. We find that one right here. If you wanted to post in there and share some pictures or stories with us, we'd love to hear that. The group is focused on embracing joy and supporting one another in managing change and creating change in our lives, positive change, positive focus, which are all things that could support you in nutritional changes and are all things that I would love to have your involvement in. I'd be thrilled to see you there. So reach out to me if you'd like to do that. Some things I want you to remember about nutrition is that your relationship with food should be joyful. As I was just saying, bring your creativity into it. Allow yourself to have fun. Allow yourself to make things up. You don't have to follow a recipe. It doesn't have to be, if you don't have something that's in the recipe, use something else. It's all adaptable. Everything is adaptable. Nothing is written in stone. So don't confine yourself to what's in front of you. Bring awareness to what and how you are eating. Pay attention to what you're eating and acknowledge how that choice is going to affect your life. And this is what I was saying when I was talking about making the better choice. You want to look at your choices and you want to say, okay, this one's better, this one's not so good. I'm going to make the better choice. And you also want to appreciate what you're eating and enjoy it. Enjoy making it, enjoy eating it, and appreciate the flavors and recognize what they are so that the next time you're making something, you can incorporate some of those flavors of your own. Also, learn to listen to the signals of your body and tune into what nutrients you need to best support your emotional, physical, and mental balance. This is going to improve your life on all levels, and it's going to help you listen to your intuition in other areas of your life. Also, by focusing on this positive change, you're going to foster your own sense of competency to create what you want in all areas of your life. And again, it is important to focus on how foods affect you. Just because it's raw doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good for you personally. So if something makes you feel uncomfortable, don't eat it. That's really, we're eating to feel well. We're eating to feel good. So if something doesn't make you feel good, don't force yourself to incorporate it into your diet. You can try something different. You can try a different plan. There are many out there, which is why I want you to stay open to all dietary suggestions. Just stay open to all of the dietary suggestions that are out there. I know there are a whole lot, and a lot of them are different, but stay open to them and recognize which ones resonate with you, which ones make you feel the best, which ones seem to support you personally. Don't punish yourself with any of them. Again, nothing is written in stone, and we're all going to have those moments where we probably don't make the best choice. You want to jump back on that horse and keep going. You want to acknowledge all the good choices you've made, and you want to acknowledge your own ability to make the next best choice, because that power is continuously yours. Anything can be modified. Explore healthier ways to satisfy cravings and stay on track. If you're interested in any healthy craving recipes, or you have a particular craving that you're struggling with, feel free to reach out to me, email me, and I will help you come up with a healthier substitute for that. That's kind of one of my favorite things to do, is rewrite unhealthy recipes into something that is nourishing. I want food, I want your food, I want everyone's food to actually be nourishing. So it is a passion of mine to rewrite those things, and I can definitely assist you with that if you reach out. Even post it in the stream below the video, and I'll be happy to share a recipe or two with you, okay? Remember, you want to nourish all of you. So you want to be present in your food preparation. You want to allow yourself the creativity and the enjoyment. Allow yourself the joy, because that is going to nourish you on all levels. And of course, good nutrition is going to nourish you on all levels, so that you will feel better physically, mentally, and emotionally. I want to thank you for allowing me to present today. Thank you, Elaine, for having me. All of your events are full of light, and I look forward to watching all of the other presentations. I hope that the rest of you watch the other presentations as well. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day.